Star Wars Legends is a big and crazy world, starting thousands of years before the films and ending well after Return of the Jedi. It's full of worlds, characters, species that aren't even in the films at all. Luke falls in love, scruffy-looking scoundrel Han becomes a great dad, and Force users across the galaxy fight all kinds of crazy threats. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. But with Legends, you can. With so many different stories out there though, it can be tough to know which books are worth reading and which are kind of more skippable. So with that said, let's talk about the best of the best. Hi friends, I'm Nathan Emery, content creator here at Youtini, and I'm here to show you the best Star Wars Legends books out there. So whether you're a Star Wars Legends veteran or a newcomer, I hope that this video can help you find the next book to put on your reading list. But first, a quick message from the sponsor of today's video. Now, if you've never listened to a Star Wars audiobook before, you're missing out. The production value, narration, sound effects, music, it's all unmatched in terms of audiobooks, and the production quality is just insane. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Now, I know how difficult it can be to sit down and actually read Star Wars books, especially if you're like me and your reading list includes dozens and dozens of canon and Legends novels. It looks like you'll never have time to get through it. And that's the great thing about audiobooks. When you're at the gym, on your daily commute, washing the dishes, or just chilling around the house, audiobooks are a great way to get through your reading list. You don't need the peace and quiet to actually sit down and turn pages. You just put a pair of headphones in wherever you are. And you're gonna love this. Your first audiobook is completely free. That's right, if you use Youtini's link to sign up for a free trial of Audible, your first book comes at no cost to you. Like, completely free, no strings attached. Don't know which one to pick up? One of our recommendations is Dr. Aphra, an audiobook original. Based on the fan favorite comic series, this book includes a full cast, narration, and it's specifically made for the audio drama format, so it's really fantastic. Just head on over to youtini.com/audible to get your free copy of Dr. Aphra. If you're not sold on that one, you can check out another one of our favorite recommendations, the Dooku Jedi Lost audio drama. Alright, let's get back to talking about the best Legends has to offer. Alright, I gotta come clean with you here. I know I said we'd be talking about the best Legends book, but to be honest, there really isn't one. I'm going to talk about the Legends books that have been rated the best by our expert team of reviewers over at Youtini, but your favorite book might be completely different. In fact, you might disagree with some of the books that I put on this list. That's totally fine. And in fact, if your favorite is a Legends book that didn't get mentioned in this list, feel free to share why you love it in the comments below. With that said, let's jump into it. So a quick reminder for those of you who kind of need a refresher on Star Wars Legends. Now, the Legends universe was born in 1978 when Alan Dean Foster was commissioned to write Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Since then, writers have put out hundreds of books, comics, young adult novels, all expanding on the universe within the Star Wars films. The Star Wars universe split, though, after Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012. And if you're unfamiliar with the difference between canon and Legends, or you need a quick refresher, check out the video on that topic on our channel or the link in the description. Along with that video, links to all the books I talk about will also be in the description down below. To make things a little easier when we're talking about the Legends timeline, we can split it into a few distinct eras, each of which has a different feel, a different set of characters, and is just kind of very distinct from the other eras. To start, we'll talk about the Old Republic era. Now, the Old Republic refers to the period when the Galactic Senate was in control of the galaxy from about 25,000 BBY to about 1,000 BBY, so well before the films. Now, this period is known for struggles between the Jedi and Sith orders, and there's a plethora of interesting stories from this era, so plenty of interesting characters and stories to explore. And the best book from the Old Republic era is Darth Bane: Path of Destruction by Drew Karpyshyn. Now, that's the first book in the Darth Bane trilogy of novels, and actually the second and third books in the series are the next two highest rated books according to our reviewers from this period. So you really can't go wrong if you jump into the Darth Bane trilogy. Now these books actually describe the very end of the Old Republic era, when the Sith rule is kind of fading out and we're getting the Sith Order we are more familiar with in the films. The stories feature gripping character development and tons of action. They chronicle the rise and rule of Darth Bane within the Sith Order. Again, they're full of action, full of great storytelling, and just a fantastic read all around. From the first book, you'll absolutely be hooked. Now, the next best book after the Darth Bane trilogy, according to our review team, is The Old Republic: Annihilation, also by Drew Karpshin. Now, this book takes place at 3640 BBY, so more kind of in the middle of the Old Republic era. So if you're looking for something that's kind of more about the Old Republic itself and not kind of on the tail end of it, this would be a great book for you. It's actually a tie-in to the Old Republic video game as well, so if you enjoy that or you're looking to get into that, this might be a great place to start. The next period we're going to look at is the rise of the Empire era. Now this era includes the rise of the Trade Federation, the Clone Wars, the ultimate fall of the Jedi Order, and of course, the rise of the Empire's rule. Now, as you can imagine, all of these events gave authors tons of different stories and characters to explore, so this era is chock full of great novels. Now, our top rated book from this era is actually the Revenge of the Sith novelization by Matthew Stover. Now, if you've read any of our top book lists or watched our Legends guide, you've heard us rave about this one. And trust us, it lives up to the hype. It's full of great storytelling, added details. It'll make you see Revenge of the Sith, which is already a tragedy, in a completely new and emotional light. It's really fantastic. Our next top rated book from the prequels era is Kenobi by John Jackson Miller. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a fan favorite character, especially in the prequels, but really throughout the whole saga, and this book definitely does him justice. Now, since this is such an important and big era, I'm going to add in a third recommendation as well. Our next top rated book from this era is Rebel Dawn, the first book in the Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin. Now, I think everybody who watches Star Wars movies fell in love with Han. He's brash yet brave, he's caring, but he doesn't really show it too much. He's a scoundrel, but he's also lovable. So if you love the character, this is a great series. It kind of chronicles the stories of young Han leading up to that fateful encounter in the Mos Eisley Cantina. So now the Jedi Order has fallen and the Empire is in place. So what comes next? Well, the Rebellion, of course. Now the Rebellion kind of overlaps with the rise of the Empire, but for the sake of clarity, I'm just going to consider the Rebellion era to be from 0 to 5 ABY, or after the Battle of Yavin. So it's quite a short era, but it is packed with a lot of good novels as well. Now our top recommendation from this area is Empire and Rebellion: Honor Among Themes by James S.A. Corey. Now this is a fun book. It centers on Han Solo again, but also features a lot of your favorite characters from the original trilogy, including Luke, Chewie, and Han. And I'm actually going to throw in one of my personal favorites here as well. So one of my favorite books from this era and from Legends is Scoundrels by Timothy Zahn. Now this is a really unique Star Wars book in that it's a heist novel. Think Ocean's 11, except instead of Danny Ocean and his crew, it's Han Solo leading a ragtag group of bounty hunters and rebels into this almost impossible to pull off heist. Now it's a big change of pace from the other books that kind of fill out the major story of Legends, but it's a really fun read and I think you'll love it. And I gotta be honest, I think Han Solo just edges out George Clooney in terms of swagger and style, and that alone should be reason enough to pick this one up. Now the last era I'm gonna highlight is the New Republic era, which runs from about 5 ABY up to 25 ABY. Now this chronicles what happens after the Battle of Endor, so it's kind of post-Return of the Jedi. The Empire is starting to crumble, but there's still a lot of remnants, and Luke and his new Order of Jedi are kind of working to establish peace with the New Republic and in the galaxy. Now the best book from this era is Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. Now this is the first book in the Thrawn trilogy of novels by Timothy Zahn, which is considered some of the best literature in the Star Wars universe. This is a compelling, gripping story. Zahn introduces Grand Admiral Thrawn, a new character, a Chiss commander within the Empire, and his tactician and military prowess is just unmatched. Luke and his team must find a way to overcome this brilliant strategist who at times seems infallible. It's a really great story, great at character building, and Zahn is just a master at writing Star Wars novels, as any fan who's read this series or any of Zahn's other works can attest. Now, our next highest rated books from this era are some of the books from the X-Wing series by Michael Stackpole and Aaron Alston. The X-Wing series itself is 10 books long, all of which is well rated by our team and highly recommended. The X-Wing series chronicles the story of Wedge Antilles as he works to create 2 different X-Wing squadrons who take down threats within the New Republic. Now, this is another of my personal favorite recommendations as well. As soon as I picked up the first book in the X-Wing series, I was hooked. I couldn't stop going through them. The authors will put you behind the cockpit of the X-Wing, going through crazy space battles, but then they'll also put you on the ground in the New Republic, either in kind of covert operations or just giving you some taste of political intrigue. It's really fantastic how many different facets are contained within this series, which is one of the reasons why I love it. And of course, the writing is just fantastic as well. Now, of course, 25 ABY isn't the end of the Star Wars Legends timeline by any means. But the eras after that are kind of characterized by 2 major series. So the eras are the New Jedi Order era and the Legacy era. The New Jedi Order is just a 19-book series chronicling the fight against a threat from the unknown regions of the galaxy. It's a great series, but it's hard to pick a best book from a series like that when you just have to start at the beginning and kind of go through it all. And then by far the most important part of the Legacy era is the 9-book Legacy of the Force series. So again, you've kind of got the same thing where it's a series that's really important to the story, and so it's hard to pick out one favorite or one recommendation. So there you have it. The books I talked about are all the top rated books from our expert team of reviewers at Youtini from each period of Legends. And of course, I threw in a couple of my personal favorites as well. So if you're a newcomer to Legends, or you're like me, where you've started reading it, but there's still a lot more for you to explore, I hope this video has helped you find the next book on your reading list. If you're a veteran like some on our team, and you've already read all these books, well, I hope you've had fun watching me talk about them, and I hope you know that you've got great taste. Now, Star Wars books are best read in community, so if you need a group of fans as passionate about the books as you are, you should check out our vibrant and positive Discord community over at youtini.com/discord. You can also check out The Living Force, our official podcast, on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also hit us up at the live show at 7 p.m. on Monday at twitch.tv/Youtini_US. Finally, for more reading guides and reviews on both canon and Legends, as well as all the most recent news, you can check out youtini.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.